And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special edition of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. This is a Hall of Fame induction where we are inducting the 2020 class. And tonight's inductee, Thad Walker. We're going to spend the next hour with Coach Walker and talking all things Brevard College cycling and inducting Thad Walker into the Brevard College Athletics Hall of Fame. So glad you're able to join us, and we'll tell you even more about Thad Walker in just a minute here. And before we get to our special guest, I do want to just kind of give you some of the accolades of Coach Walker before we get the formalities going. Coach Walker was the founder and the first head coach of the renowned BC cycling program. This is a program that's gone on to win 10 national championships. He led the Tornadoes to the first 2 USA Cycling National Championships in school history. He guided BC to the 2009 USA Cycling Mountain Bike National Championship. He led BC to a repeat Mountain Bike National Championship in 2010, coached student-athlete Joe Tuttle to an individual national championship, along with student-athlete Tristan Cowie to an individual national championship. And he is the first representative of Brevard College Cycling to be inducted, which will happen officially tonight, into the Brevard College Tornado Athletics Hall of Fame. It's a remarkable story of how Coach Thad Walker got this amazing Brevard College cycling program off the ground, from the ground floor forward. And we're here to celebrate Coach Thad Walker this evening. And to get us started with that, we're going to invite in Tristan Cowie, who's going to tell us even more about the impact of Thad Walker and formally induct him into the Hall of Fame. Tristan, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Phil, and thank you for everyone for attending tonight. I'm Tristan Cowie, the current manager of Carmichael Training Systems Brevard and a Brevard College alum of 2011. I was on the Brevard College cycling team from 2007 to 2011. When I started researching schools, I actually wanted to run cross country at Brevard. Thad had not created the cycling team yet. However, he contacted me the summer before I graduated. He suspected that I wanted to live in Brevard and told me that he was starting a cycling team. What made it so compelling was the way he asked me. He described what he was working on and where he wanted to take the team in the next few years, and he sat back and let me choose. He laid out all the options and benefits and let me take control. That's an important attribute of Thad's. The best leaders lead. He does not pressure or try to persuade. He gives you the tools to choose your own destiny. The experience is more valuable when you are in control and you make your own decisions, like when you forget your bags and get left behind on your first trip. In a few short years, he built up the team from a small group of mountain bikers into the powerhouse it is today. Thad developed the team from just participating into winning individual titles and then into winning team championships. The team now is a testament to the quality and work that Thad put into it. His style and leadership allowed the student athletes to take charge. His selfless time and effort behind the scenes motivated the team to take control of our goals and progress. He is a manager who recognizes what specific skills athletes have and gives them the chance to shine brightest at the right moment. Cycling is a unique sport in that while teams are important, ultimately you are riding alone. However, the reason that this team and this school has been so successful and dominant is Thad made it very much team-oriented. Being a small private school, Brevard College uncovered a gem when they gave Thad a chance. He developed the attitude of camaraderie and teamwork that still continues today. From some college in the Southeast, Brevard has grown into one of the strongest varsity programs in the country. The athletes who came through the team have kept going. From professional racers to industry leaders working for global brands and graduate students in exercise physiology, the progression of these athletes did not stop with the team. From packing up or unloading the van in rushed but controlled squirrel time, to encouraging students to help recruit new riders and continuing to mentor athletes after graduating, he gave us the confidence and ability to concentrate on what we needed to do at the races. This equated to better race results and an environment where we could concentrate on racing and producing results. Thad, with help from the college, led this program into the beast it is today. Thank you for everything that you have done.
Outstanding. Thank you, Tristan. And with that, Thad, Tristan just made you official. You're now a member of the Brevard College Tornado Athletics Hall of Fame. How does it feel?
Yeah, thank you, Tristan. Yeah, definitely an honor to be recognized, especially be that first cycling team inductee into the Hall of Fame. Definitely is a true honor. Like Tristan said, it really was a team effort in terms of that program. And I had the pleasure to graduate from Brevard College in 2005 as well. And it was that early administration, still as a student at Brevard College, and approaching the administration in my last semester as a student about having a cycling club and transitioning it into a varsity sport. And they really supported that. But I feel like a lot of that really came from also the academic experience here at Brevard College. Graduate of the Willie program, so I feel like that program really equipped me to lead and able to fulfill that mission of learn in order to serve. So really a big thank you to all that administration and that academic experience I had at Brevard that prepared me here, and great to be able to stay here and kind of fulfill that. So yeah, that early administration that kind of took the chance on the program and supported the program and saw that vision. And it was a tough time. That was right around the time where Brevard College was starting transitioning to D2, which was a really big process, starting the football program as well. So a lot of things going on campus, and where they could have easily said, this isn't the time, where, they took that chance and they made that investment in starting the program and had that faith in me. And so that's something I've always really appreciated throughout my leadership of the program, is something I always valued. And then really, I think what made it was the student athletes. And all those years of running the program, especially the early years, and the ones I really were kind of reflecting on through this time of winning this recognition is those foundation students, the ones that didn't really have a lot of the racing experience. And, a lot of them have never raced competitively at all. And we went out on our first road season there in, I think, spring of 2007. And, a lot of them had never raced road bikes at all, but they really worked hard. They really had fun doing it. And then that's what really laid that foundation for students to recruit, and for students like Tristan and all those other students that came in and kind of helped lay that later success. And, and especially those thanks to, athletes like Tristan who came and committed their time, and where they could have gone, a lot of other places, a lot of other programs that maybe had more recognition and success at the time, or, bigger budgets or more resources. So those athletes that kind of came in to help lay that and end up winning the individual titles and the team titles. That was what really made it happen. So, and then not to forget the most, I think, important thing are those students who, found cycling through collegiate cycling. You never really raced competitively, and maybe coming to Brevard College had never had a mountain biking experience, where a lot of those individuals, as Tristan said, went on to be really big contributors to the program. And then went on to do other things that really utilized their time at the college, and being part of that team to give back and to serve their communities as well. So all those things were really big. And then now, just looking at the current team, I had the pleasure of attending the team meeting last night. So it's been a long time since I've been to a cycling team meeting. So that was a lot of fun to be able to go to. And just to see where the program is grown, and really a group of students from all over the world, in a sense, and a lot of really talented students. And, it was those coaches that followed me. It was amazing opportunity to be able to build that foundation. But having, Brian Sheedy come in after that and take the team on to win championships, and now Brad Purley and Cypress Gorey, it's just great to see where the team has gone. And I got the opportunity last year to go down and watch the team compete in mountain bike nationals down at Big Bear. So that was a really great experience to go back after having a number of years of being away from the sport. So, so I think, yeah, just the program, I have to say, it's really been a team effort. I'm so honored to be part of that, and that's the BC family, from administration that continue to support the program, and our faculty and our staff, as well as the current student athletes, and of course, just the Brevard community as a whole. I can't say enough about that level of support that we got throughout the years of running that program. So it is truly an honor, and thank you for the recognition.
Outstanding. Congratulations, Thad Walker, now a member of the Brevard College Tornado Athletics Hall of Fame. And we're joined now by President David Joyce, Brevard College president, a big supporter of the Brevard College cycling program. President Joyce, I know you're excited to speak with Thad Walker.
I am. I'm very excited to see the founder of the cycling program at Brevard College. As you probably know, Thad, my wife and I are big mountain bikers and big fans. We both raced. And in fact, you and my wife share a similar past. She was the first mountain bike coach at Union College way back when. So we're glad. And one of the reasons that we came here is because we're cyclists and because of the success that this college has had and that you started and made it happen. We're very, very excited, and I'm excited. I want to meet you in person. Since you're on campus, maybe we can find some time. I'm right now, as you can tell, it's dark here. I'm at Square Root. I know you know about that. And we're meeting with a board member. And I was hoping he could come and give you, he's not here yet, but I was hoping he could come and give you congratulations on your award as well. But nevertheless, we're very proud of what the program has done, and you've set that up, and this recognition is well worth it. And I've got a number of national championship signed jerseys in my office, and you started that process, and just know that we have great DNA in our program now, and it's well ingrained into Brevard College and who we are and what we do and how we do it. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. And I know as we were working to get the program up and running, we were looking around at other programs and seeing the program at Union. And I know, like I said, you were active and your wife was involved in starting that. And so I can't tell you how happy I was to know when you took the job as president here at the college, and to know that you would support the program and continue to value that. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Well done. I have to sign off, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Joyce, for being here. I appreciate those words. We're also joined here by Tyler Miranda. Tyler's a member currently of the Brevard College cycling team, so a current student athlete. Always great to have a current Tornado on the program. Tyler, I know on behalf of the team, you've got some words for Coach Walker.
Yeah. Just first off, on behalf of me and the team, just congratulations for this, great honor. And thank you for everything as well. Without, the things that you did and, your courage for, starting the team here, none of us would be here right now. Yeah, and we all, are super thankful for you, and really day in and day out, we try to, really carry on the legacy that you and people like Tristan have kind of laid for us. Try to exemplify, what it means to be a Brevard College, cycling athlete, on and off the bike. So, yeah, just thanks.
Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, and I understand, Tyler, you're third generation Brevard College cycling student?
Yeah, both of my sisters went here. I think one graduated in 2016 and then the other in 2018, something like that. So yeah, that's also cool, to see, I think there's a couple people like that, there's many siblings who are on the team, which is really cool to see.
Very good. Appreciate that, Tyler. And we've been seeing the comments kind of pour in here to congratulate Thad Walker even further. Thad, I'm curious, can you tell us a little more sort of the progression? How did you get this program off the ground? My understanding is you were, originally a football student athlete down at Alabama, and ultimately came here to Brevard College, fell in love with the sport of cycling, and then eventually started the program. Can you tell us some of those details?
Sure. Yeah. Grew up doing a lot of kind of outdoor recreation program, and outdoor recreation activities. And that's, a lot of what eventually drew me to the Willie program, but grew up playing a lot of team sports, and football was kind of the one I loved the most, I guess, growing up in the South. And so it was just kind of a natural progression. Grew up going to games in Tuscaloosa and watching the Crimson Tide play, and progressed in my senior year. Had some opportunities to go to some schools to play football, and ultimately got invited walk on to play for the Crimson Tide. So decided to go down that path for a while, which was a pretty neat experience. Mostly was on the practice field, but it was great to be part of a SEC championship team there in 1999, and really cool experience. Had to go to the Orange Bowl. And then, so continued with we continued with football for a couple of years. And upon 1 year, just kind of had got more into cycling, had some injury issues, and kind of used cycling to eventually get in there and train a little bit for football, and just kind of gravitated more that direction, and eventually kind of the way I wanted to go. And then fortunate enough to start coming up here to Western North Carolina in the summers, working at the Nantahala Outdoor Center in the bike shop there. And then we would find our way over here, coming from, I guess, the other side of the mountain, to come and ride in Pisgah. So I knew about Pisgah and the quality of mountain biking, but had never actually ventured into Brevard. But had a family friend growing up who lived here in Brevard and always talked about how great the recreation was and the college and everything. So I was aware of the place, and, of course, Pisgah. But the day I moved here, I had never been to the town. And a lot of that just stemmed out of the kind of the academic experience. I think that, Alabama, great experience going there. But, as far as a fit for me academically, it wasn't there, and just wasn't where I wanted to be, but didn't really know. And then finding my way to the mountains, I figured out exactly where I wanted to be and where I wanted to be at home. And, luckily with that, found Brevard College, and, a great academic experience, and, the rest is history there.
Wonderful story. I love, football to cycling. Who would have thunk it? Tristan Cowie, when you kind of reflect back, to those days, can you kind of give us a little insight? What was it like to be a member of a Brevard College cycling team under Coach Thad Walker?
Yeah, it was he definitely brought a lot of the football with him. That's kind of where the squirrel time came from. And he was we got things done on time, and we left on time. And, as I alluded to in my opening speech there, I was kind of joined the college. I was an up and coming development kind of mountain bike racer. And I went to school for a week, and then I got on a plane and flew to Scotland to race the World Championships. And then I came back the following weekend. I think we had a collegiate race somewhere, and I didn't quite get my stuff together in time, so Thad left me behind, and that was the lesson taught. So, it was a lot of making sure we were on time, we did things correctly, we got the van packed, but it was a lot of fun too, and a lot of there's not a whole lot of pressure. Again, kind of he was really good at putting that control in our hands, and just letting us make mistakes and learn from them. So.
Thad, would like to hear more about the national championships themselves. And let's start with 2009. Can you reflect on that first title in school history, and, kind of the key components to making that a reality?
Sure. We had, that was our first where we kind of started recruiting a little bit more. I think for our first team title, Tristan had won an XC and short track, I think the year before at Lees McRae, as well as Joe Tuttle had also won, I believe it was dual slalom that year before. So those were our first individual national championships. So, we knew we had a good team. And that was kind of our first year. We had really brought in some additional recruits on the mountain biking side, had started to build the gravity program a little bit more. But honestly, the first year, that first one was a little bit of a surprise. But I would say the thing that we came there is it's something that the team really wanted, when that weekend started. And nationals is an intense experience. It's, 5 races or with downhill, dual slalom, cross country, short track. And now they have the team relay, so it's even more challenging. But, a lot of our athletes were doing multiple events, and, the team really had that desire. It wasn't anything we really talked about a lot, but they saw kind of where they were and what those opportunities were, and went out and got it. And, at the end of that weekend, just an amazing experience to be able to celebrate with them, with all their hard work that they had invested. So, and then from there, the next year we actually lost a few key athletes that had graduated out. And so, but still had that same drive. And I think they had been, the team had been there before, and they kind of knew what they wanted on that sense, and dug in and won the back-to-back, there in Truckee, California. So, and that's tough, right? To travel all the way across the country with, I think we probably took for, 12 or 13 athletes, probably 40 bikes, and, getting all of those out there, as well as all of our student athletes, and, all the equipment as well. And, you're in a different state and a different time zone and a different place, but it was great. Everyone kind of focused on that and was able to win the national championship. And I think we all had fun doing it. So it was great to be part of that.
Before we get to our next 2 guests who have joined the party here, I do want to take this question from Wes Dixon. Appreciate you chiming in, Wes, via the YouTube chat. Thad, what was your biggest achievement with the BC cycling team? Can you pick one?
Gosh, single biggest achievement. I think it was really getting the program started. I think was probably that biggest one. And I think the thing I reflect back on is really, a lot of those athletes that came into the program that, didn't necessarily have that cycling background. And that's one of the things that's so unique about collegiate cycling. And when you go to nationals, it's your kind of A-level athlete. So you're only taking, some of the team in a sense, the higher kind of in terms of the competitive nature. But, a lot of collegiate cycling is the lower levels and athletes that are getting into it for the first time. So I want to say in terms of what some of the most rewarding opportunities were to see athletes that had never really ridden a bike that much, and then got into the sport and have gone on to either, progress greatly within the sport, or like I said, they've gone on in their, in the industry, or continue to give back, or, like Julia running a high school mountain bike team or a youth team. So it's great to see the contributions that the athletes have gone on to do after they've left the program, in a sense. And I think that's what's the most rewarding.
Joined by a couple more of your former cyclists, Nan Pugh and Julia Tellman. Nan, we'll get started with you. Can you give us your thoughts as far as Coach Thad Walker being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and maybe reflecting upon that time at Brevard College?
Congratulations, Thad. I'm really excited for you, and it's rightly earned. I remember I showed up to the initial, the very first meeting, and I look around and I'm like, and I'm that cyclist that I was brand new to the sport, and Jenna was like, yeah, you should go. And I was like, okay. And I show up, I'm like, oh, there's no way. No. And later in the semester, Thad was like, hey, we're going to a race. We have space. You want to come? And I was like, okay. And that opportunity has changed my life significantly. And just you were there to race, but it wasn't about the result. It was making sure you're developing as a person, and just having fun and enjoying each other. And I mean, the next season, the road season, that was one of the highlights for me in college. Was, I wasn't a great racer, but I had so much fun in just the team environment and the community, and being able to be a part of it was super special for me in my college experience.
Fantastic. Appreciate those reflections. Julia Tellman, love to hear your thoughts as well. Coach Thad Walker, he's part of the Hall of Fame now.
Yep. Squirrel, we're all so proud of you. I transferred to Brevard College just to race for Squirrel. And I think looking back, I truly did not realize how much work he put into it. And I am pretty sure he worked 18 hours a day during the mountain bike season, and less so during road, because road is stupid. But the amount of time he spent herding cats, buying sandwich material, building an entirely new course, like race venue at Adventure Village, packing all of our crap, unpacking all of our crap. I mean, your patience and humor during as the team director was amazing, and we all love you so much. And I think like your advocacy and your contribution to the cycling community has like inspired all of us. Like Nan and I now live in the same town, and we both coach for a mountain bike team as a result of your influence, I think. And, you know, trail work is amazing. I really just think that your contribution to cycling cannot be overstated. And also the fact that you made us listen to like Kings of Leon and Band of Horses nonstop for hours and drove me to road nationals 2 years in a row, even though I didn't want to go. We love you so much. Congratulations.
Well said. Thank you for that. Question here from the YouTube chat. Hannah Dixon, another one of those current Tornado student athletes. Coach, how did you get the nickname the Squirrel?
Wow, that's a good question. There may be conflicting stories on this. I think a lot of it was just the intensity level in every single direction. So full pinned every direction in a sense. So yeah, it would be interesting to get the take on that as from the team as well. But that's kind of what I kind of took it as. And yeah, Tristan was right. There were definitely races we showed up and the race hadn't really even been set up yet. We were in the parking lot well in advance. But you know, that was kind of our thing, never to be late for a race. And Tristan figured that out. So yeah, I think that's where it came from, but it would be great to hear the other thoughts on that too.
Yeah, Nan, Julia, Tristan, either of you able to expound on that? Squirrel, the nickname.
I thought it was from, we were driving in the van and like there's a squirrel mailbox.
Oh, yeah.
And there, like a squirrel like jumped out and you kind of like very eloquently moved through it. And we're like, squirrel! And it just stuck. I could be wrong.
No, that was the origin story that I heard. But also, he is like fully pinned all the time.
Yeah, you put it well, Thad. Just the intensity and you know, we got things done when they needed to be done and be finished. So yeah,
and of course the perfect fit for Brevard College, home of the White Squirrels here in Brevard, North Carolina. Glad to be joined now by two more former Brevard College cycling student athletes, Brandon Millett and Liz Walker. Brandon and Liz, thanks for joining the show. Liz, we'll start with you. Thoughts as far as Thad Walker entering the Hall of Fame and reflecting back on your time at Brevard College? May need to unmute yourself, Liz. Just check your mute button there for us, please.
There we go.
There we go.
I've spent 6 hours on Zoom today, but you wouldn't know it by my experience here. Thad, congratulations. I feel like it's about time. I am super honored to be here to help celebrate you and bringing you into the Hall of Fame. You know, I was just listening in on Facebook and I heard that you were talking about how the collegiate athletics, especially cycling, is sometimes athletes experiencing the sport for the first time. And I could say that I am that example for sure, similar to Nan's story, where I wasn't a mountain biker when I moved to Brevard, and I owe a couple of people the attribution to being a mountain biker now. But it was all Thad who said, hey, why don't you come race for us a couple times? I have very fond memories of not finishing my first race and using some expletives on the very first short track race as I came through and saw Thad cheering me on. But I certainly would not be where I am today without him.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Liz. Brandon, love to hear your thoughts and you know, your feelings as your coach goes into the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, Thad. Well deserved. It's nice to see you again. Man, my first really experience at Brevard College with that. We showed up to this race, and I was part of one of the first big road teams coming in. Unlike everybody on here, I started out as road racing, and I was that roadie. Never touched a mountain bike really, which is funny because all I do is ride mountain bikes now, and I sold my road bike because the mountain biking here is just so amazing. But yeah, I showed up with with that, and the big group of athletes that year is probably 10 of us, probably one of the biggest recruiting teams that year. And we got out of the van and went and registered and everything, came back, and we had all of our bikes lined up, all of our bottles set up in their bikes. And I was like, whoa, I feel like a pro. And that was such a cool experience, being part of a college team like that, and just whoa, we're all pro. This is so cool. And I was racing the lower, the B races at that time, and I still felt like $1 million. And the first day was not a good day at all. But Thad didn't really care. He was like, "You have fun?" Yep, that was fun. And the next day, we had another great race. So yeah, Thad has always been able to keep it fun. Always provided Dr. Pepper, which was awesome after every race. But again, Thad, thank you so much. Yeah, my life is much different now than it would have if I didn't join the team. So thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Liz. Question here from the Facebook live chat. And if you're watching this program, be sure to leave your questions and comments for Thad Walker. This from current Brevard College cycling head coach Brad Purley. Congratulations and thank you, Thad. Do you have a national championship that stands out in your memory in particular?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would have to say it was that first team championship that we won, and that's, I guess, one of the cool things about collegiate cycling. And, cycling is often a very individual sport. I mean, road, you have team tactics and things like that, but generally it's very lonely out training. And especially with mountain biking, you're, racing by yourself, a lot. So the ability to have that team experience through collegiate racing, and then also just the camaraderie we built over the year and all kind of coming together to win that. So that was truly, the first national championships of the individuals were really special just because I guess those were the first. But I think the most memorable was that first team championship we won out in Truckee.
Another question here from the YouTube chat. This one from Madison. What was your biggest reason to leave a D1 football team and come to Brevard? You touched on this a little bit, but tell us more, Thad.
Yeah, well, I wasn't say I was playing a lot. It's football at that level or any level is a really big commitment, and physically pretty demanding. I think my interest, I just had a lot of interest in so many other things. I remember one of my second year on the team, I lived on campus in kind of the football housing, and after practice and dinner on Wednesday nights, I kept a Dagger kayak in my dorm room above my bed. And we're talking like a really full length kayak, and would go out and go to rolling practice after football practice. And so it just had a lot of other interests. And at that time, it started to gravitate more toward the bike, and grew up doing a lot of outdoor recreational experiences, and something I'd always enjoyed. And football is a great sport, but it's pretty demanding and singular demanding, and just kind of having the opportunity to do other things. And so yeah, it was not necessarily an easy thing, but at the same time enjoyed the time playing that sport, and gotten to be part of a championship team. And that was really exciting then to transition as far as cycling and race competitively, and then really stopped racing competitively as much when we started the collegiate team, because I just love that focus and the opportunity to build that program and make that investment. And it's great to see, especially having everyone here joining.
Well, the Thad Walker Hall of Fame induction party continues to grow. Now joining the show, Lewis Gaffney, another Brevard College cycling alum. Lewis, thanks for joining the program. You got some thoughts and words for Coach Thad Walker, now a Hall of Famer? Make sure you unmute yourself there, Lewis.
There we go. Yeah, just like everyone else, thank you so much, Thad, for what you started and what got continued. It's been such an awesome run, man. I was lucky enough to be on that very first, or the national championship team following the very first one. I was a freshman coming in, and all I remember is that first, I think it was one of the very first breakfasts. I was like, Dad, I really want some Nutella. Can you give me some Nutella? And he's like, no, that's not very healthy. And then exceeded, I think, his expectations. And he came back in the next morning with just a giant jar of Nutella, and he slapped it down in front of me and just said, Lewis, if you do that again, I'll give you as much Nutella as you want. Keep eating it. He just knew how to get the best out of everyone, and it was a good run with you, Thad.
Yeah. Thanks, Lewis. Great having you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Appreciate that, Lewis. So, Thad, when you see these names and faces on this broadcast, can you kind of sum it up what these student athletes meant to you, and maybe how proud you are, what they're up to today, as alums?
Yeah, it is really special, and I would say one of the neatest things to see, and of course we have student athletes that have moved all over the country to some amazing places and do amazing things. But, one of the things that's really special is to see how many of those student athletes have stayed here in Brevard, or maybe have left and come back to Brevard, or made Brevard a part of their life. And, that was one of the things that was really special about this program, is just that connection to the community. And I feel like we all kind of share that, and especially our love of Pisgah National Forest, or the amazing road ride up Highway 276 and the Parkway. So it really is. It's special to have, everyone on, and to see this contribution, and then what kind of everyone's gone on to do. And, that cycling is still an important part of your life, and we all kind of share that Brevard College experience. So it means a lot.
Yeah, appreciate everybody being on here. And I'm going to kind of give an open invitation here. The first person to unmute themselves gets to go. What I want to hear is just the funniest untold story that the public hasn't heard, that, is, PG-13 or, lower. But we'd love to hear, a memory, an anecdote, a story. The floor is open. Whoever wants to jump on this first.
I got one.
All yours, Julie.
Driving home from Fort Collins, Thad has a tendency to speed when, you're in Kansas, as one does. And we got pulled over because he reacted so quickly to seeing a trooper on the road that the trooper thought he had radar, but he didn't. He just had squirrel radar. So didn't get a ticket.
Very good. Anybody else, an anecdote that you'd love to tell? Lewis.
I remember one of the very first races I went on, similar, not quite similar to Tristan. We didn't leave anybody behind, but we did leave a wheel well behind on the way to ETSU. And we got there, and we get there, and it's the wheels are just bare. We're like, wait, what happened to the trailer? It's like, oh, that was that big clunk that we heard on the way back.
Great stuff. Liz, you got something for us?
For sure. So my first race was at ETSU, and the night before I went over to another cycling team member, Joanne Tuttle's house, and we decided to sample some really hot chili peppers. And I didn't sleep well because I was super nervous about my first mountain bike race. And the next morning we're in the van. ETSU is not that far away, 2 hours. But I had the nerves. Not only did I have the mountain bike first race nerves, but I had the chili peppers the night before nerves. And I was also very embarrassed by this because I was with a group of people I didn't really know very well. And I was trying very hard to communicate with Thad that I needed him to pull over right now.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Tyler, Miranda, I want to loop you back in here because some of these folks who have joined the show may not know you, but you're a current Brevard College student athlete. How does it feel to have this kind of alumni presence and the legacy of Brevard College cycling for you guys to continue to carry the torch?
Oh yeah, it's such a cool legacy that you guys have created for us, and we really just try to keep it going. Yeah, you've got so many cool, stories and funny stories on the road at races and stuff, and it's kind of a bummer right now that there's no races, but yeah, we're super stoked to keep those coming. But yeah.
And Coach Thad Walker, you had the chance to meet with the Brevard College Tornado cycling team yesterday when you were up here on campus. Did you have a message for the team?
A little bit. I think kind of talking about those early days, I think just for them to kind of, understand where we came from as a program, and I guess seeing some of those struggles as well as some things we were talking about earlier on just the student athletes that had come through and really invested in the program. And I think one of the message we tried to always kind of talk about with new students coming in is try to leave it better than you found it, right? And so I feel like we constantly try to challenge the team on that sense, and they always answered, from that first 6 or 7 that went on our first road race season with no experience, they pushed themselves and left it a little bit better than they found it, and then our first recruiting class coming in, they really put a lot into the program. And, and the wins were great too, but, they mentored other athletes that were new to the sport, and, those athletes put in, and that was putting things into the program. And then of course, now to see this generation and Tyler, and it's just continued to evolve. And that was kind of my message, just, try to leave it better than you found it. And if we all do that, it'll continue to grow and continue to be that thing that we all cherish and enjoy with those experiences. So that was generally the message.
Excellent. And Coach Thad, if we can stick with you for one more here, a lot of the Brevard College community remembers you as, the cycling coach here and as the individual who got the cycling program off the ground, but they might not be aware of what you're up to today professionally. And, since you've left Brevard, what you've been doing professionally and so forth. Can you fill us in?
Sure. Yeah. My wife, Jenna, and I live out in Chico, California, and I work for the Butte County Resource Conservation District. So it's a special district in California. And honestly, we focus a lot on bringing resources into the county to focus on improving the natural world. So I do a lot of grant writing, write a lot of grants for forest health and watershed health type projects, reducing sediment in streams or reducing forest thinning projects that help promote the environment, natural world. And then also part of that, I also get to write grants for trails and do trail projects as well. So that's continued to be a big part of my life. And it's nice to kind of continue to take on from coming from the program and, really, working to serve and help the student athletes, and then to move to an area where I have an opportunity to do that in a completely different realm and contribute back. So.
Outstanding. I appreciate you sharing that, and thank you for all that hard work you're doing out there in the environment in California. Well, folks, before we sign off, I do want to just give everybody the opportunity, sort of for a final message, share that love to Thad Walker and to Brevard College cycling. As the comments just continue to roll in, we'll kind of go around the horn, starting on the bottom right. Nan Pugh, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Thad, for laying a foundation for cycling for me. It's a very big part of my life, and without you, it probably wouldn't be where I am today. So thank you.
Thank you, Nan. Next up, Liz.
Right now I'm working as a team manager for a professional off-road team, and not only would I not be there, I also wouldn't have students and future pros to grab from. So again, to echo Nan, thanks for laying the groundwork for not only collegiate cycling at Brevard College, but collegiate cycling throughout the United States. Because of that, I have athletes to pull from to take all over the world.
Thanks for that, Liz. Next up, Brandon, final thoughts?
Yeah, Thad, thanks again. Just again, with Nan saying, yeah, I mean, I still live in Brevard. I'm not from here. I'm from New York. So I never really went back. So I stayed here from the get-go as soon as I got here. So yeah, really kind of formed what my life is now. So thank you again, Thad, and congratulations.
Great stuff, Brandon. Lewis Gaffney, floor is yours.
Yeah, that, speaking like how everyone's been talking earlier, the way that you instilled leave the program better than you found it, it really has, I think, from the beginning when me and Brandon were on the team from our very first year, it's been embedded in that program. And ever since we've left it, I feel like it still grows from that. So good job with that.
Thank you, Lewis. Julia Tellman, final thought?
You and Jenna are welcome back in the Tetons whenever you want, and congratulations.
Very good. Before we get to Tristan, Tyler Miranda, a current Brevard College student athlete. Final thoughts for Coach Thad Walker?
Yeah, Thad, it was just great getting to meet you last year at Mountain Bike Nationals, and awesome having you at the team meeting last night. Yeah, we're all really appreciative of the relationships that you forged that are, that really help us out with, today's team. So yeah, thank you and congratulations.
And Tristan Cowie, you got us started with the official, induction of Thad Walker into the Brevard College Tornado Athletics Hall of Fame. And so before we wrap up with Coach Walker, final thoughts, Tristan, after, seeing your former teammates here, being able to induct Coach Thad Walker. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, thanks again, Thad. It's you've been an extremely influential person in my life, and yeah, just as I've gotten older, kind of thinking back on all the memories and listening to the stories, and I can't imagine what was going through your mind packing a bunch of college kids into a plane and flying to California to go race bikes, and somehow it all just worked perfectly. So you do good, Thad. Thank you very much.
Well said, Tristan. Appreciate that. And Thad Walker, as we head towards the end of this program tonight, congratulations again on behalf of all of us at Brevard College and Brevard College Athletics. You're now a Hall of Famer. You'll be that forever around these parts. Can you kind of sum it all up for us, Coach Walker?
Yeah, like I said, really special recognition. And again, I just feel like it was a great team effort, to get here. And I hope this kind of paves the way for some of our amazing student athletes who have been part of the program to also be inducted in the Hall of Fame in the future. And it's just great to have this opportunity to join back and meet with them. And then, of course, again, a really huge thank you to the Brevard College family, the faculty and the staff and the students who have supported the program, all these years, from the early days of getting it going and not quite sure to, all the national championships that have been brought home, and that they kind of took that chance on me. And from the academic perspective of being in the Willie program, and, just an amazing experience, and just so glad that I was able to call this home. And then also to, of course, my home team. So my wife, Jenna Walker, who I met the first year I started the program. And I think a few of you have mentioned Jenna and how she kind of encouraged you to get out on the bike, or maybe drug you out on the bike a few times, or and she still does that to me. So just an amazing partner, and can't say enough about her level of support. And of course, my family as well, my mom and my dad, and my sister and her family. They've always just been really supportive of anything I've ever do, and always really encouraging. And then also to my Brevard family. So I lived here, I think, 10 years in total. So just, like I said, an amazing community, from the Dixon family to the Arbogast family to the Odell to the Adams. Can't say enough of how embraced I was by the community, even outside of the campus. And that those individuals and the community as a whole continue to show support and have so much pride for the community and for the team. So And then, of course, last, all of the student athletes. You know, you were all amazing. You were what made it so fun and what kept me motivated. And it really is, I feel like this is truly a team effort.
Very good. Coach Thad Walker, now a member of the Brevard College Tornado Athletics Hall of Fame, the founder and the first head coach of the Brevard College cycling program. It's official now. Congratulations, Coach Thad Walker.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you to all of our special guests for joining this celebration of Thad Walker, Brevard College Athletics Hall of Famer, and continue to follow the Tornadoes on social media, Instagram and Twitter at BC Tornadoes, Brevard College Tornado Athletics on Facebook and YouTube as well. We'll be covering Brevard College cycling quite a bit, year round, but this weekend in particular, 2 Tornadoes are at the World Championships in Austria right now, Maisie Hayden and Tyler Orschel. So we're following those going-ons, and we'll actually have the current head coaches, Brad Purley, and also assistant coach Cypress Gorey on Tornado Talk this Monday night. So tune into that at 7 p.m. this Monday night. Thanks again, everyone, for joining the show. Congratulations, Thad Walker, Brevard College Hall of Famer. Go Tornadoes.